everybody, welcome in. This is AfterBuzz TV. It's your coverage for the challenge Final Reckoning, episode 21, the reunion part 2 tonight. God works hard, but challenge fans work harder than everybody else. We're talking all of the beef, the hookups, and the unseen deleted footage tonight, so stay with us.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
This is the ballad of Paulie and Kyle.
I love the video from the 80s that's shown on the screen, too.
Yeah.
They're having fun on that stage.
Yeah.
I think this is actually Paulie singing. This is live footage of Paulie circa 20 minutes ago.
He got a good wig on, man.
Trying to FaceTime Kyle, say, lay your hands on me.
If you want me to, lay my hands on you.
There you go, Pam.
Who else felt like we were watching Jerry Springer tonight, by the way? Woo! 1995, circa.
Tonight was so Jerry Springer, guys. Welcome in. It's the Challenge Final Reckoning show here on AfterBuzz TV, episode 21, The Reunion. We're going to dive into everything. My name is Jenna Bussiere. Thanks for joining us. We got Pamela Gross with us on the panel tonight. Say what's up.
What's up? Thank you guys for joining us. We love you. We are excited to wrap up this drama tonight with you.
Speaking of drama, Danny Drama here. Oh, because there were no games at all tonight. It's full drama.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like this reunion was all over the place. They packed in a lot into the first episode. I'm kind of torn between some of it seems like filler and some of it's like, okay, we know that this is going nowhere. But then a lot of it was yelling back and forth and really funny, interesting stuff to watch. So we're going to get into everything. We're going to grade the drama, the beef. We're going to give you a grading. Is this premium steak beef? Is this grade A, grade B? What do we got here?
$2 steak.
Steak from, does McDonald's have steak?
No.
Steak around
Diner
here.
steak.
Diner steak.
Yeah.
Arby's, they have the meat.
Okay.
Talk about all the hookups. We saw some unseen footage, and we heard a little bit about some Ashleigh bananas hookups, some random stuff that we didn't see during the season. We're going to get into everything. First things I want to talk about is, before we start tonight, Pam and Dan.
David! I don't know where he is.
David.
Pam and Dan had some questions going into tonight.
No, not going into tonight. Just I'm sorry. I'm 33 years old.
Into the panel tonight.
Okay.
And I don't know what a thirsty toddler is. Is it like a baby that wants milk? I'm serious.
Well, Jenna pronounced it thought. So you're saying a thirsty tot. You're saying a thirsty thought. I don't know what either of them are either. So we're going to take our guesses, and then Jenna's going to clue us in.
You got your guess?
That was one of the best things. Before
guess.
we even started, Dan and Pam come running to me like, okay, what is a tot? What is a tot? What is this tot thing? And then Pam kept going, what is about that life? What does about that life mean? What does this mean about that life? Who says that?
That one I understood a little bit better from
Who
Paulie.
says that? Who speaks like that? And Dan just kept saying, no, I cannot start the show without knowing what a tot is.
Yeah.
And I just wanted that to be brought to the occasion that you don't know what a tot is.
Well, now that you've spilled the beans that it's thought, thirsty thought, I'm not entirely sure, but my theory when it was thirsty tot was like a toddler or an amateur. So they're thirsty rookies, thirsty amateurs, like that. Yeah, thirsty and inexperienced was my guess on what that
So
meant.
go ahead, tell us what it is. No, that's pretty much what I thought, yeah.
Well, you thought it was a toddler.
So like a fresh baby that doesn't know what they're doing in the challenge house.
Okay, so it is thought. And
Like a thought,
I don't
like
even
a
want
thought
to.
in my head.
It is thought, THOT, and what it stands for is that hoe over there.
Oh my
So it's basically
my.
it's almost like another word for a hoe or a slut, just kind of like diminishing a girl in that sense, calling like you's a hoe. It's basically what they're saying. So like you a thought.
I was
like,
way off.
Like you're thirsty for the men.
All right.
Okay.
So there's Tot, and About That Life was one of my favorite things that happened tonight because Paulie just kept saying it. You ain't about that life. You ain't about that life. Just on repeat, on loop.
Why was Paulie trying to fight everyone? I thought it was just going to be Kyle, but then he brings Brad and Zach. He's like, if you guys want to fight, I'll do it right now. After this, we'll just fight off camera. I don't care. I'm like, why, Paulie? What is going on?
Because he's about that life.
He
was so tough
Apparently.
tonight.
He's for sure about that life. So now that we've kind of got some definitions for a few key phrases tonight, I want to get your guys' opening tots. Your overall thoughts
right
on tonight's reunion.
Okay. there was some of it that was so lame that the beef that they even continued it was silly. Like, for instance, Corey and Tony and the pasta, and Corey's trying to double down and say you shouldn't have done that without a sense of humor. The only time he had a joke was when he said, like, I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like, you were trying to get under my skin. I don't know if I'm missing something because I wasn't there, but it's like, Corey, he wasn't. He
Why?
threw your pasta away.
But no, he didn't throw it away. He threw it out the bus window. In my question I wrote down here was, if we're gonna do this later, I thought, but why did Tony throw the pasta out the window in general? No, so why did he do it?
Because he was drunk and they were on the bus and he was like, it was sat on.
You're telling okay,
and
it
he
was
was
sad.
like, this is garbage. It wasn't cool.
But it wasn't. You don't think it was all related to maybe, hey, this might also just piss Corey off a little bit, and why not?
Right.
No.
It's drama season, baby. Let's
drama
go for
season.
it.
I don't think
But
so.
other than that, what are some of the other like main
Yeah.
pieces of storylines?
Apparently, I got to learn who Dolph Ziggler was
my
tonight,
God,
and
yes.
like the best part was like he told us he was a super fan, and then as he's going to read the names of the people, he's like, Ashleigh, Ashley's here. He's like a teacher at school, like trying to Zach, Zach's here. There's Zach. Yep, I liked him. I think. Like,
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, maybe he is a super fan. I don't know. He has 2.8 million Instagram followers, so I'm thinking that might have something to do with it. Also, maybe The Miz had something to do with it, because Miz has a lot of connections with, obviously, the real world of the challenge. I don't know how he got this job. It bothered me. I did not hate him, actually. He actually could speak fairly well, and that's really all I needed from a host.
He was really good about transitioning the questions around and just wasn't biased and basically just was like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Okay, next question.
But did it seem like an odd pick for a host when you first saw him? Like, who is this?
Well, first of all,
That's
he's a
all I was
WWE
feeling.
star, and all the WWE fans can crucify me for this. I don't watch that, so I don't know who this is.
I
And
watched it as a child.
The fact that his name is Dolph Ziggler, like, how unfitting is that name for him? I just imagine him by, like, a warm fire with, like, a reading glass in one eye and, like, a nice warm robe on, like, reading a book. Dolph. My name is Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, he's this WWE guy now hosting the Challenge Reunion.
In the comment section, guys, please tell us if you know why he got chosen as the host. So I'd like to know. And maybe he's doing more with MTV in the future.
I think
I just don't know how he
he's
got the-
popular.
But there's a million popular people, but he's in the WWE, which in theory has really nothing to do with the challenge.
Maybe there's
He
some
did really
fan
well.
base crossover.
I'm not saying he didn't do well as the host. I just thought it was a really random pick.
They
Right.
need some new fresh blood.
Is he
Dan.
a
We
super
just need a
fan?
new
Is he a super fan of the challenge?
I think you should host.
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just asking you, do you think he's a real super fan
I
of the
didn't
challenge?
hear him say that. I just
He
like
said
him,
it every time he came back in after the commercials. I'm getting fired up. He said I'm a super fan. He had to say, he said WWE superstar and
Right.
super fan of the challenge, like to let everyone know, like, hey, I'm not just here because I'm popular, but that's really why he was here.
I thought it was strange that he kept calling himself a superstar. Like, is that part
It's
of
a
his
WWE
title?
superstar. WWE
it's a
superstar. When you're
thing.
arrested, yeah. I was
Okay.
me, Stone Cold and The Rock.
Okay.
That's my era right there.
There
I
you
was
go.
huge.
Okay, got
Well,
it.
like Dan said, I think this reunion was very Jerry Springer.
Yes.
It was a lot of like reality TV stuff. And I was saying to Pam before we even came into the studio live, we just finished the reunion. I hop on Twitter to find like one of Marie's tweets from last week. And all of a sudden it's like, Angela's live. This person's tweeting about this. And it's like, we don't even almost need TV anymore at this point because everything is
Right.
just going on in social media and in the reality TV world. It's like now I'm already missing all of these pieces to these altercations and these fight between these people because it's happening on different platforms. So like we don't even know what we're seeing anymore.
Yeah.
We don't even know if we should take it for what it is or with a grain of salt or like what's being edited and what's being said when weeks have gone by and so much has happened
Right.
No, take
since
it,
this
take it
reunion.
with a chunk of salt, and we'll just talk about it, and we'll see what
Yeah.
where it
There
goes.
we go.
Yeah.
So they start off, Dolph starts off hot, and he comes in, Mr. Dolph, talking about the stealing money, and we go right into Ashleigh and Hunter. And I just think, obviously, these two have to sit together, but how petty by production and MTV to make these two have to sit together on the couch. And I love that they have this little, like, what do they call it? A picture in Pip. Remember in old school on TVs, they used to call it when
Picture
it's in
in
the
a
corner.
picture?
Picture in
Picture
picture.
in picture, yeah.
Pip. So they see what's happening at the end of the challenge that Ashleigh decides to keep the money.
Right.
And they're
Oh.
picturing Ashleigh and Hunter watching this go down, and it's so awkward. But I feel like Hunter actually composed himself really well. What do you guys think about the Ashleigh Hunter debrief?
I really feel bad for Hunter because I think that that's awful. Apparently that was Ashleigh's game plan from the beginning. I don't know. It's rough watching her win $1 million, and I feel bad for Hunter. I don't think it was cool to say, to call her names and stuff. But I think that I can't imagine stealing the money from your partner when it's clearly a group effort.
Ashleigh was taking that money no matter what. She just had so many reasons to take it supposedly, and she had so many great excuses of why she got to take it. And even if Hunter was just the nicest guy ever to her all season, she's taking the money, and that's just what it is. And you have something different.
Oh, no,
you looked at me like I got a whole different opinion.
I was going to pose a question because we see her just laughing, giggling. A lot of people are taking this pretty lightly. It seemed like a lot of people on stage were kind of laughing because it wasn't a shock to them. Do you think that she should have shown more remorse or apologized after the fact? Or now that this is already said and done, does she just have to own it?
She's too deep in it. There's no reason to come out of her hole or that she dug for herself. It is what it is.
And at this point, it seems like she's a caricature of herself. And I'm sure when she's not on TV and there's not cameras rolling, she's a little more subdued than the way she is and a little less obnoxious. But with it, she's playing the persona of I don't care about you, I got $1 million.
Well, what's also interesting,
she does have to stick to that.
She's coming up with more reasons for why she stole the money. That she didn't say on that final thing. Like she's saying that Hunter is somewhat of a racist, or maybe he treats women poorly, or he thinks that men are better than women. Like she mentioned things like that, almost because I think maybe she probably did get a lot of backlash via social media, and she's like, well, I gotta tell them more reasons now. Maybe I'll get more people back on my side. I mean, that's the way I was viewing it.
Great point.
Because Hunter jumps in and he's like, Nelson and Corey are like my best friends. So for you to say that I didn't want something, because she slept with Derek H, I guess, and he made a comment about her sleeping with a black guy.
According to her.
And it's like, dude, but my friends are, black. So what do you mean I don't like black people? Like in a way, she was saying that. It's on the line. It's hard to pick what do I take from this?
She was really going after him with that.
Where would she have gotten that from? Not saying that she's right, and to Hunter's point, yes, obviously his best friends on their show are black, so he's standing true to his integrity by saying that, but why would she just pull that? Because the one thing that we did see her say was backed up with footage about him. She called her out and said you threatened my family, you called me a slut, you said all of these things about me, and he said, no, I didn't, that's a lie, and then cut to hidden camera footage of him saying it.
I mean, I think that, again, a lot of things are said in anger. There's obviously drinking involved that people regret. He might not have remembered that he said exactly those words. He didn't really threaten her family. He was popping off.
He didn't?
He said, if she cost me $1 million, I'm going to go after. Do you think he's really going to go after her family?
No, I don't think so. But if that's you personally, you have more of an incentive to keep the money. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that what she did is of utmost integrity and that she's a great human being. I'm just saying if she wanted the excuse to keep the money, him saying, I'm going after your family, everybody's a little bit spiteful. And when you hear somebody say it about your family, you might think twice as well.
It's definitely an interesting comment that Hunter made, and I didn't like that comment, obviously. No. But it's like when someone says, if you're working with someone and they're doing a bad job, I'm gonna kill them. Are you really gonna kill them though? It's a weird line. This whole Jerry Springer knockoff show tonight was just weird.
I do think you're correct. I think that she 100% was trying to make him look like a bad person.
She was adding stuff on.
She looks like a bad person. I think she might have straight up made up the thing about Derek H. to her.
You think so?
Maybe. Because he was like, what are you talking about?
Well, that's why it's weird, is because she's like, oh, you told me. Hunter, you told me this. And Hunter's like, what are you talking? I didn't tell you any of this stuff. So that's why it's weird. It's like, who do I believe?
Well, he did say that I forgive her.
And he also, I liked Hunter saying, first, I'm a slut shamer. Now I'm a racist. Come out. What else are you going to call me? It did get a little over the top. Her just being like, and you hate babies and you hate puppies. It's like,
but
is he really that
evil? No, you're right. And it does seem like she's tacking on the excuses and the reasons and trying to make him look worse than he might really be in real life. But at the same time, is she just supposed to sit there and not make any justifications for herself? She would look bad too. She was just like, well, I took the money, don't care.
Calling
she didn't
someone
say any reason.
Racist on national television, she could have said, I took the money. We weren't friends. We didn't get along the whole time.
Or how about this?
That's true.
Because Banana said a very reasonable, is this a $500,000 friendship or not? And if the answer's no, take it.
How about her saying, "I made some mistakes too in this," but with that said, I still took the money. But she didn't even say like I made mistakes because she did with Hunter. She treated him like crap in half of those challenges, like blamed everything on him, like it was his fault for certain things, and then stands on his feet in the pyramid in the standing thing. So like you're standing on him in that one. So whose fault is that?
You're right. And to his defense, I would have liked to seen a montage of Ashleigh treating him badly.
Well, that's what's weird. The producers only showed the one thing he said.
So I definitely drank the Kool-Aid last week when I watched the show, and I was like, "Ooh, I get it, Ashleigh. We saw that footage. He said you were an effing slut. I'm coming for your family." Like, okay, girl, do your thing. But you're so right. She's no walk in the park to be a partner with. And then if Hunter had won, I would have gladly been open to seeing the footage of Ashleigh, what she said to him.
And how planned is this her taking out $1 thing? Can you be like a gracious winner?
Wait, that was gonna be one of my penny
Oh, I'm
wars.
sorry. But it was just so lame. Like it wasn't even, it was clearly planned. Dolph asked her the question to like get her into, no, why are you laughing at that? He did. He purposely asked her that question to get her to show the $1. So lame.
I'm laughing because his name is Dolph.
Dolph
asked her the question.
Both Kaylee and Ashleigh have said in response to, she had some fight with someone, I think it was Davon, and I guess she privately, I think she said, "Oh, put down your arms and pick up your baby," and then she privately excused herself by saying to Davon, "When I'm hurt, I lash out at people." That is what a 6th grader does. And that was exactly what Kaylee told Nelson. The reason she was so mean to him was that they need to double down on these insane statements.
You're right.
And that's what Ashleigh does. Instead of being like, yeah, she would never say, "Yeah, I'm a little wrong." She says like, "No, and I'll do it again."
She's in the hole already. She's not coming
never
out.
admit any of her own personality faults. It's always on someone else. Okay, so guys, it's time to play Grade That Beef. What grade are you giving the Ashleigh Hunter beef?
That's some prime meat.
You think so?
Yeah, that's good beef. That's $1 million beef. I mean, yeah.
Okay. $1 million? Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, that's just so much.
Right.
I'll give it a B just because I wish I wish Ashleigh could have admitted that she was wrong and they would have showed some of her footage of treating Hunter poorly.
This might be like $60 Ruth Chris Porterhouse beef.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Steakhouse for sure.
Steakhouse for sure. Okay, we're going top of the line steakhouse beef for this. Before we get into the next thing we're going to go into is this weird like submission segment that they do, which I actually kind of like, where they bring out receipts, if you will, or they bring out screenshots of text messages and tweets. Davon and Ashleigh get into something as well as the thirsty tots that Dan and Pam have been waiting for. But before we do have to mention all of the amazing shows that we have here at AfterBuzz TV.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! AfterBuzz TV does after shows for all your favorite shows, drama, reality, competition shows like here, Challenge 32. But we need your help. We need you to subscribe to one or more of our channels. We'd really appreciate it. If you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. And as always, we want to thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. Look how quick I got through that.
Dan.
You want to get to the thirsty tots.
We need to get on to there's so much to talk about.
I love that you guys have changed thoughts to tots, and I just want to go forward and make a campaign to make thoughts tots.
The age of silence.
Thoughts sounds so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like that hoe over there. It sounds like, why do we have to be so like degrading? Tots are cute. Right. Tots are fun. Everybody loves to eat tots.
Yep.
So
and on that,
babies or tater tots?
Talk about receipts though.
Tater tots.
Okay, just making sure.
You sicko.
With receipts, Cara made a really good case for herself that she was explaining to all of them in a private thing. You came off this way. And I love you, Cara, but when she was on our show, she called Angela thirsty.
She did.
So, and it wasn't in that context. I actually thought now it's like a hoe thing, which I think is crappy. I thought it meant thirsty, like attention, fame whore, was how
everything.
I took
it could be.
thirsty.
Thirsty
like,
can be used in different variations. It totally can. You could be thirsty for that D, or you could be thirsty for that paycheck, thirsty for that camera time. You could just be thirsty for water after a run. There's so many ways you can be thirsty.
There are.
Okay, so the first part of this segment that they do is Davon and Ashleigh, and Ashleigh we have the receipt for it. She tweeted out Davon should worry less about using her hands and use them for picking up her children. Basically kind of like mother shaming her. What did you guys think about this?
Team Davon all day long. Team Day all day long. Yeah. Ashleigh, again, ridiculous caricature. She's like Bugs Bunny dressed up. Like, she looks like she's gone through the woman machine sometimes. She does with her, like, all her stuff. And that was rude. Why is she picking on Davon?
That's my point. What's the context of this?
Yeah.
What's the point? What's the reason? What was the... Just out of nowhere she wrote this? Or did Davon say something to her first? We don't even get to that, of course.
Yeah.
We just get the Ashleigh thing, which is an awful tweet or whatever. Wherever she put that, it's so dumb. I don't... That's it. Move on.
Yeah.
This is it. I can't even deal with it.
Can't even.
Yeah.
I do like that they are bringing up tweets about people going at each other that don't have to deal with the show. That way you can't just tweet something and not expect it to catch up to you. And I like that they gave Davon the platform to then go at Ashleigh and say, like, what's up then? If you're going to say it on Twitter, say it to my face, and they kind of unhash that. So Thirsty Tot time. So as we know, clearly Cara Maria was in a group chat with a few people, and I guess she didn't realize that Angela and Faith were in it.
No, she was telling them. She had pre-screened the episode.
Yeah.
And she was telling everyone how they
came off on the episode.
So she said to them, friendly, like, you seemed thirsty, because they were saying, like, we'll get with those guys that are, our vets. So she was saying it to them. It wasn't like she was caught saying it behind their back.
Well, that's how the story started, though, because that's what Angela and Faith said. They said that Cara didn't realize they were in the group chat.
Ooh, I didn't personally hear that, but, like... It wasn't even, she didn't say this on social media. So this is where it's like, it becomes like, it's not an invasion of privacy because you're obviously sending it to other people so they can do whatever they want with it. But it seemed, I mean, I don't really want to stand up for Cara, but it seemed innocent enough she was just trying to just make a joke about how everyone came off in the show. But I wouldn't want a woman to ever be called a hoe in any context. So that's where I'm like, why can't you just say you sounded like you were a little overzealous? I mean, like, that doesn't sound...
I think it's one of those words that's getting desensitized, though, and now they're just kind of like, oh, your thought. But it doesn't really, like, it's not supposed to mean anything, even though it definitely can.
In my head, what I perceived from what I saw, she said it to them about their own, she said, Paulie, you seem hot-headed, you see, it's totally different. If she said it behind their back...
I think that's what it looked like on the show, but in the Twitter sphere, if you've followed it all this season, that's what Angela and Faith have been saying and promoting, that Cara said this behind our back in a group chat that she didn't realize that we were in, and then she responded like, oh, I didn't know that they were in here. Like, that was another text that was a part of that group.
Well, either way.
I know,
okay,
So
like, how do you...
She gets so many group texts every day that she doesn't know who's in which one. Maybe
well, Cara, again, whatever. She said, we are doing a video, Faith, Angela made da-da-da. I had pre-watched. To me, it sounded like she knew they were in the chat. So I thought, she was just being silly with them. It's a different context if she said it.
I mean, the best part of this is Faith coming in hot and just, what did she say? Rufio?
Well, she also, and that was one of mine for the end of the show. And she also moved over, like, she tried to sit over on, like, some people over to Paulie on Paulie 2, and Paulie's, like, trying to hold her back. Not really, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Grade that beef.
An D.
Yeah.
An F.
Yeah?
Grocery store, $2 steak.
I feel like it's C.
All right.
I feel like it's decent.
Average.
Because we got the Rufio comment, and we got... Angela didn't say anything or do anything this entire reunion, but she got all big for a hot second and, like, uncrossed her legs and
she
was, like, ready to brawl
beautiful,
for a minute.
though. I love Faith more and more every time I see her. Oh, my goodness.
Faith?
She is so cute. Oh, yeah. I'm so into Faith. Yeah. She's so cute.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Moving on a little bit, we get
out.
into, like, an insane amount of hookups that happened this entire season that we saw, but we delve a little bit deeper into some of these. Kaylee and Nelson. Oh, God, I'm so heartbroken. We never saw this one coming to an end.
Oh.
Right.
So this couple, for some reason, ends up not staying together, Kaylee and Nelson apparently was in the UK for X on the Beach and went to Kaylee to profess her love to profess
I bet he
his
bought
love
flowers
to
and
her.
candy and everything for her.
And then she ends it because he was texting other women and texting other women pictures of himself.
Seems like
how it ends.
Typical guy thing to do. Yep, I can see that.
Nelson, though. He's like, I know, but we were not in a thing. His defense was like, we were not, like, we didn't pinky swear we were dating.
Well,
so, like, that's still cool.
But how are we not in a thing if you're literally saying, like, I love you and I want to
Right, but he was saying,
well, that's
how Nelson is it to...
It wasn't
because
locked
you know
and
how
loaded.
Nelson, like, always plays the game, the challenge, like, for the love of the game. Like, he doesn't want to do anybody wrong. He doesn't want to go for just the money. Like, he's not playing a mean, malicious game. He's just in it for the love of competition. That's what he always says. So how Nelson is it to like show up at somebody's doorstep and be like, I want to marry you and have kids with you, and then get caught sending a dick pic to somebody?
Yeah, with the cameras on him, though, when he's doing all these things. Look, the weird thing with me with the whole Nelson thing is, how much did, Kaylee? Really like him this season, though? Weren't we always saying, like, is she really that into him? Nelson seems more into her. So, in a way, if she keeps giving him, like, the high vibes, I like you, and the low vibes, I don't. If I'm Nelson, why am I putting so much effort into Kaylee? And then there's all these other, I'm sure there's plenty of people DMing him and wanting to hang out with him. And so he starts talking to other girls. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I don't think it is. And especially because I don't think Kaylee is like, hey, yes, I want to be your girlfriend. We're official now. If Kaylee wants to be my girlfriend officially, that's fine. I'm in. Right. But I don't think she ever said that to Nelson. So whatever, he's talking to other girls.
I agree with you 1,000,000%.
And Angela's cute too, so he's with Angela now. I'm down with that. Angela's very good looking.
I feel like this reality TV is just one big cesspool. Like, Angela was with Johnny on the show. Kaylee was with, or Nelson was with Kaylee on the show. Now Nelson's with Angela. It's all just like they all hop on from one to the other so quickly.
Well, Johnny had a good line when they're like, why do you always date rookies? He's like, because they haven't been run through like you guys. That was a little like...
Now, see, we all took that as...
Johnny, you've also been run through then, if you are running through everybody.
How did you guys take when he said run through?
It was pretty gross.
Okay,
it was pretty rude,
it was, if you take it that way, it is. I almost wanted to take it like to make Johnny seem like not such a bad guy. Like, so you haven't heard so much crap about me, so it's easier to talk to you so no one's dissing on me all the time. But obviously, I think he meant it in the more of the slutty way, unfortunately. But like, to me, it's like, well, yeah, everyone talks crap about me year after year after year, and the new girls come in and they don't know necessarily all these backstories about me. Maybe they'll just like me for me, but that's me giving Johnny, I think, a little too much credit.
I think it was a bananas thing. I'm not mad. I'm not like, we have to take these things in context and draw a line where we're going to get angry about things said. We can take that in a few ways. I agree. I'm not like, he should die. That was a gross thing to say.
Yeah.
I think it was a little harsh, but I thought it was...
it was harsh, yeah.
I mean, it was harsh, but it was also deserved for they were picking on him and he lashed out. I mean, when someone attacks you...
That's a good PR spin zone for Johnny, for him to say, like...
Well, but then I can go...
No, it's because they don't know how bad I am.
Well, it was snide. I mean, it was a snide, jerky comment. And if someone said, like, God, Dan, why do you do that with that kind of tone? Your response isn't going to be, well, actually, I thought she was a lovely person. You're going to snipe back.
You want to defend. You want to defend yourself to a certain
Especially
degree.
Bananas. He's always
and I think it was Amanda that said it, and it's like,
well, I just happened to find her the loveliest of thoughts.
Right.
Oh, she's the best tot in all of the tots.
But then, like, Bananas doesn't get enough screen time at first because they're only talking about Hunter and Ashleigh, and he jumps in and he makes fun of Ashleigh about a hair weave out of nowhere. Yeah. So that was like, on the other side, it's like, well, dude, just let them finish.
You hooked up with me, though.
Right, so like he got dissed on right away from saying that.
That's a hookup that we missed while we're on this. The hookup portion of tonight's Jerry Springer, reunion of the challenge.
Right.
What do you think about this Ashleigh Bananas hookup?
Everyone's seen. She calls him baby dick, I think, at one point, but then she also says how much she likes him. So it's like, this is the reason. We don't know what's real and what's not real. They could just be saying it because they want certain, Instagram followers to be like, oh yeah, I'm standing for Ashleigh on this because she called him baby dick. But she clearly likes Johnny, but she doesn't want to like show him that she likes him. It's weird. This whole thing.
That deleted scene footage, the never seen before footage of her saying that she likes him. I felt so bad because she's obviously like hammered. I mean, I can't feel bad. You guys go on this show and you know you're drinking. You know you're being videotaped. This is not her first reality TV show. She's so hammered when she's saying this.
But all right, but I always say that, sober thoughts are drunk words. Personally, that's come on.
Oh, yeah, sometimes.
Why not? I mean, you say what you feel when you're drunk, and you might not say it when you're sober.
Bad looking. Like, I'm sure that she.
No, it's fine.
Also, in that world, he's a figure of, he's a champ.
Masculine, strong guy,
he's popular. In the, he's a...
You call him the king?
He's the king. He's the king. I mean, you take a CT of Johnny, you would have a crush on them or be intimidated or somehow drawn. She was a newbie when, she's probably been looking at Johnny as a celebrity for a couple of years. Anyway,
why do you think they didn't show Cara and Kyle's little makeout session? I mean, they showed it here, but why didn't they show it during the season?
Right, okay, so that's another hookup that we get into. It's another never
before seen moment.
Never before seen moment. where we see Kyle and Cara in bed together, and Pam and I do like a triple take after we hear the audible, because it sounds like she's saying, I love you.
And then it's go over there, go in the other room.
Well, she jumped on it when they went back to her on camera. She's like, I said just move. I said for him to get out of here.
Yeah.
Which after a while, you're like, oh yeah, she's obviously just saying like, get out of here, go in the other room.
Go in the other room.
Go with your other girls,
I love you.
We did think it. Do you think that was the night she was sitting on his lap? And why?
We don't know. That's why it's so weird. Why
Right.
wouldn't they show that? Maybe they ran out of time. Who knows? But they should have shown that during the season.
I can't believe they didn't show that. For making this whole Cara and Kyle relationship such a big storyline, and showing Kyle being like a player this whole time, hooking up with Faith, then going back to Cara, hooking up with Ashleigh, but leaving his jewelry for Cara. Like, they make it such a storyline, and for them to show so much of Cara and Kyle flirting and her sitting on his lap, and then not show the hookup is like, were you trying to make somebody look better, or you were just holding this for the reunion?
It's the will they, won't they thing. Maybe they were going, and Kyle was already with, with my girl Faith, so, and Ashleigh, technically, so maybe they didn't need him to be, because all they were doing was kissing. Maybe they just wanted full penetration.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, maybe they wanted the sex. They didn't just want the kissing, so that's why they kept it out.
Where were they? It looked like they were in a closet with a.
It was a bed. I thought it was a bed.
It's what we call twin-size beds.
Yeah, they all have twin-size beds.
But it looked like a strange. Maybe it wasn't.
I have a full-size bed. All right, so
off-limits room.
Johnny Bananas has a California king bed.
Sure.
Kyle has a cot in a closet on the challenge.
He's the king. Come on, you gotta treat the king like the king. I no, but maybe this is my conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a PCC. Maybe there's like an off limits room, like where Ashleigh and him went, in the room where you're at the no camera room or whatever. But of course, they really have a camera in there.
You mean Cara and him?
No, remember the night before when we know Ashleigh hooked up, because Johnny's like, you guys went into the room without like they went into somewhere.
I thought we saw them in bed together. Whatever. It was a long time ago.
Somewhere, I don't remember exactly, but my conspiracy corner is maybe there is one private space or something, and she said, sure, you can show it now, and they were like, okay, fine.
Faith,
so that it was like kind of off limits until
Faith
tonight.
took Ashleigh's bed, so therefore I believe they showed that Kyle hooking up with both of them in the same bed.
Yes, I think you're
They
right.
probably
too.
wanted that footage, so yeah, I think they showed it.
Okay.
Anyways, what's next on this nonsense
what
of a
else?
show?
I think the best could have been Hookup all night is obviously Paulie and Kyle. And I love that when the editors are so dirty but so amazing for this, whoever edited the reunion, when Kyle is saying, Paulie, I don't think you're in love with Cara. I think you're in love with me because you can't stop talking about me. Cut to the very next thing Paulie says is, Kyle, I just want to put my hands on you. All I want to do is put my hands on you. Like 5 times in a row. I just want to put my hands on you.
Yeah. It was well done. Well done,
Yes.
editors.
Oh my God.
Yes.
The synergy was mwah.
Is that something you guys wish was not hidden behind a computer screen or a TV? Because they were Skyping in, the Brits were Skyping in, and Paulie kept saying, whenever I see you in person, I'm going for your knees, you're falling over, whatever it was. He's about that life. He is so about that life. If it was in person at the reunion, do you think it would have been handled differently?
I'm
No.
bored of Kyle and Paulie fighting. I like unaggressive Kyle much better than aggressive, or not Kyle.
Paulie?
I like when he's like, oh, I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna chill. Like when he's a little looser than when he's all riled up and ready to fight people. It's like, you're not gonna fight anyone.
He was like
you're
a little
on TV. You know, it's just, I guess they have to have beef. But I'm sick of it. Every time they cut to them, actually, I was like, oh, Kyle, he's the worst. He's still the worst.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear him threaten Paulie, and I don't know.
He was a little pit bull tonight, and here's my conspiracy of the evening. Stan's conspiracy corner. The reason that Paulie is going after Kyle so bad is because he wants them to be enemies, so they get teamed up on a future challenge. Because in theory, Kyle is a decent to good competitor. Bam.
Very good,
Probably
Dan.
that's just a fun one. Yeah, I don't really know.
Very
what's
good.
That's
All
not
right,
a bad theory.
Kyle Paulie beef, you grading it like Stop and Shop on sale post Thanksgiving, like $5
Isn't
sirloin.
it played out at this point? Like, aren't they gonna? What can we? It's leftover. It's leftover meat.
It's your grandma's leftover steak that you take because you feel bad, but you never eat it.
She's like, I brought this home for you, and it's already has bite marks in it, and you're like,
and it goes right in the garbage.
Grandma.
You're like, Grandma's dentures, no.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
it's
That's what I'm going
grandparents' dentures bit into this beef.
It's like,
beef.
it might have been good to begin with, but at this point.
All right.
Toss it.
So, do you guys want to talk about then this Davon and Shane confrontation? Because
Yes.
Pam, I know you have some opinions on this.
do.
So, just to preface the situation, we see Shane kind of justifying his comments towards Davon, and Davon going back at Shane, saying, you know, you're a feminist and you believe that you are fighting for equal rights, but you're calling me a bitch on TV. And do you think that your statements are warranted?
Yeah. Okay, so number one, I want to say, in general, I'm team Davon all day long. Mm-hmm. In this particular instance, though, I think she was contradicting herself over and over again. And I am team Shane on the argument that calling a bitch in anger, he wasn't saying like, she started the argument that saying like, you're a bad bitch. Those words shouldn't be used because bitch isn't a nice word. It's like, no, he was calling you that because he was mad at you.
Right.
And again, I'm a feminist. I would call someone a bitch. I think that Shane calling Faith a bitch because he felt that she was being a bitch is more respectful than someone like Johnny being like, I don't say bitch because I respect women. It's like, I don't know. I don't think Shane doesn't respect women. I don't think bitch is that terrible word. We're throwing out thoughts, calling people that, but a bitch when you're fighting with someone, it's like me calling you the male. There's a lot of words that are rude. I don't.
A
bitch
dick?
is somehow a dick.
You're a dick.
Right. I'll call someone a dick, a girl or a boy. Like, I don't know how bitches become this symbol of femininity that we don't want to tarnish.
Yeah.
In that regard, I'm on team Shane. It's like, I was calling you a bitch, and I stand by that.
Shane was clarifying, like, I thought it was a bitch move. Now, here's the best part about this whole thing. Do we even remember what that bitch move was?
I do.
Okay.
He thought she was going to vote. She didn't go with his. Again, she was right in her. Anyway.
My point is, I didn't even remember what it was about, and that's why, they're just throwing these words around, and it's like, you might mean it at the time, and then 5 minutes later, you're like, why did I even say that?
Yeah.
It is, but I mean, I don't see anything wrong with saying, if someone's being a bitch, they're being a bitch.
and that's the thing.
And that's it. I just want to.
I do think that was almost a faux fight from her. But it's like, you called me what? It's like, are you really that offended? Like, how many times in tonight's reunion did people call each other bitches? I mean, probably 30. And no one was like, what did you say to me?
I don't even think it was blurred
No,
out.
it wasn't. He was like, I'm calling you a bitch because you're a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, he was... And she was...
So explain to me the CT move. CT jumps in and he says, well, when a guy's called a bitch, it's degrading, but when a girl's called a bitch, it's like a good... Was he saying it's a good thing?
I think in certain contexts, but I don't think that was the context here.
What was he saying, though?
I get what CT is saying. Like, if you're like, oh, you're a boss-ass bitch, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment, right.
But if you say to a guy, like, you're...
you're degrading that. You're a wuss, yeah.
Like when you're saying you won't fight me because
you're a little
wuss.
B.
Yeah,
right.
you're a little B, exactly.
You're a little B.
But I don't think that's the context that Shane was saying it. Shane was wholeheartedly saying, like, this is how I feel like you're being, so I'm going to call you out on it. He wasn't trying
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought Shane came off fine in that whole
CT's
thing.
context, like, it makes sense, but not in this
it's
situation.
Totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's like when ladies are called it, it's because they're being aggressive, and when men are being called that, it's like, yes, CT.
Well, even Devin jumped in.
Father time on his saying.
Right.
Even Devin jumped in at the end to be like, you're contradicting yourself, Davon. Like, this is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot right now.
I like Davon, but back into dug themselves into the hole at this point after all that. She's not going to be like, yeah, it was stupid. I didn't really care. She can't switch
sides. Yeah,
and be like, don't ever say that word to me. And it's like,
it escalates to the point where Shane, like, this got into legalities after the show. Like, Shane called lawyers, and Davon threatened that she was going to have all of her cousins at the reunion to beat up Shane because of this comment on TV, or because of him being quote unquote obsessed with her and continuing this beef outside of the show, that Davon was going to have her family members beat him up. So then Shane got lawyered up to Davon.
Well, what do you guys think about that? I want your opinions on that.
He's a little bitch. That's where Shane, I'm team Shane, then he flips it over. He like flips it over on itself to where he's so ridiculous that even when he's right and I'm team Shane, then it's like, Shane, you're calling lawyers because she on Twitter said, I'm going to come beat you up. Come on now.
I love that he laughs at himself, though, that he just breaks into hysterical laugh.
Because, even if she brought all her cousins to this reunion, there's plenty of backstage producers and bodyguard guys that aren't going to allow Shane to just get beat up by a bunch of people.
Right. No one's beating anybody up, you guys.
Right.
It's like, if you guys want to go fight privately or something. You're not going to beat each other up on the reunion.
It's just all pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So then we'll get into the two teams that hate each other the most, or two people from these two teams that hate each other most. But it starts with Tony and Corey over Pasta Gate, and then that stems into Devin versus Bananas. So it starts with the Pasta Slam, and Corey's basically trying to justify why he did this Pasta Slam, and then it gets brought into like F is for friends who do stuff together, like the circle of friendship that, well, if you're his friend, you never would have slammed him, but if you're my friend, you never would have instigated it, but if you're my friend, you never would have put me in a position to actually get hurt, but if you're my friend, you wouldn't have made up that it was a slip. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what's going on here?
It was really stupid.
Well, don't worry, we had Bananas come right on in there, and he gave us the definition of friendship, because he's the perfect person for that, which I thought was garbage too.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I mean, of course. Well, this is what I love. Corey's too naive to lie. He's like, because I want to stay on the show. Like, that's why they're like, why'd you pretend he slipped? And
isn't that a breath of fresh air, though?
Yes.
For me, like, duh, we all already knew that, but thank you for at least saying it out loud, because no one else does say the truth out loud half the time. So.
Devin tried to say, when you convince yourself that what? Come on, Devin.
I want to defend Devin on this point. No, you guys are gonna like this.
Okay.
I don't know why he didn't bring this up. At the end of the episode, when he does say, I think he slipped, the producers show him the footage. And Devin looks and goes, oh, he didn't slip.
No, I think
he admits that he was wrong in his initial thought.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But isn't Devin's initial thought too, like, holy crap, if that goes down as a full, he flipped him, I'm going to be off the show. So his immediate thought is, I got to stay on the show.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So can you really blame him? No. But when he watches that, he must, I honestly think that he didn't think it was a full-on flip, because when he's watching the video from the producers that showed him, he literally goes, oh, he didn't get flipped. Like, it was a pure but if you rewatch it, Pam, he was not acting there. You can say his other stuff is acting, but that was not acting when he watched the actual
I would
flip.
agree with you, but then I think that reaction that you're taking as surprise was, I'm screwed. Because everyone there tonight was like, you knew.
No,
like, everyone was saying, like, yes, you knew. You saw everything. That was all a full-on
I'm talking
lie.
in the episode.
No, I know.
Wait, not the reunion.
No, I know. I'm saying, but everyone at the reunion clearly was like, he saw it, he knew.
Why didn't Devin say, when the producer showed me the clip, guys?
Because then he knew he was busted. I think that reaction was, there's no way to pretend this was a
He was
flip.
already busted on national TV when he wasn't busted. He was just realizing what really happened.
Really busted. Like, you couldn't deny it anymore. They had it like so crystal clear. I believe what you're saying from what we saw in that episode, but tonight Bananas was saying everyone here knows that you lied. And they were
Devin
like,
didn't get a chance to defend that tonight.
Okay.
It never got, maybe he did say it again. The reunion is edited and they cut in different parts. So he may have said, after I saw the footage, I obviously admitted that it wasn't a slip. Right. But when you're there witnessing it and it's raining and you're like, okay, it's a slip. I got what he was saying, but you start lying to yourself so much to the fact that you believe
he admitted to that as well.
Would all be cool.
Everybody would do that.
You
like, no, when I didn't say that, I said this. And you go back, you're like, shit, I said it that way, didn't I?
Yeah.
Exactly.
like, that's not what I meant by it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think he wanted to believe that it wasn't true, and hopefully there wasn't any real footage to prove him wrong. But
I mean, the Corey body slam, going back and watching again, it was really rough. It was really hard, and I didn't realize Corey was that strong.
I know.
Like, I thought he was kind of a popcorn
Tony's
muscles
a big
type of guy. Like, Corey's a personal trainer and he works out all the time, but what has he really done on the show?
He looked kind of jacked up tonight. Like, he's that white shirt he was wearing, he was busting out of that.
So I didn't realize, like, Tony's a big dude. Tony's big and tall, and for him to make such a hard fall from Corey, I was like, damn, I didn't know that Corey was actually that strong. And again, it's such a boneheaded move of Corey, and he's trying to kind of like explain his actions. We've talked about this already. Do you think that there's any justification to his body slam?
I mean, I think it's the dumbest move that someone could do.
He clearly swept his leg out.
Okay, so that's what they're trying to say here.
Yeah.
And then this obviously stems into what stems later that night, the night of the episode with the Pastagate body slam, is Devin following Bananas around and them getting into each other's face, and then Bananas finally getting so fed up that he hits this slow blow, and he talks to Devin about his recently passed father, and this gets brought up again. And Devin is saying he doesn't take it that hard from Bananas because he hates Bananas already. They're not friends. He thinks Bananas is a weasel. He's not somebody who he respects. But then Bananas comes back and kind of reiterates or clarifies exactly what he said. And he said that he didn't think that Devin was mentally fit to be on the show. He should be at home mourning the loss of his father. Again, he said, I hope that the apple fell far from the tree because I hate you, you're a prick. And I hope you're nothing like your dad, essentially. And then he also says that Devin's dad would be embarrassed of his actions.
Bananas doesn't know Devin's dad, so that's where that first the fall from. You don't know his dad, so don't talk about someone, especially someone that's passed away.
No, he's saying, I hope you suck, and I hope the apple fell far from the tree. I hope your dead dad was a good person.
Yeah, I don't like Bananas talking anything about Devin. I also wish that Devin just stayed in his seat, though. That was my other big thing. Stay in your seat and talk to him from there. You're getting in his face again. It felt a little forced. It felt a little fake tonight. But in the overall thing, Devin's father passed away, and that's what this is all about. So how can Bananas just needs to be quiet and just let Devin, if he stayed in his seat, but he
I know
did not.
Pam feels differently.
Oh, of course Pam feels differently.
I feel
yeah.
like, I do believe that it was a very PR spin to say what I meant was...
He's
you learn to the
rationalizing it.
Right, I do. I agree with that. Part 2, though, that episode... just relentless. Devin, what are you doing? Following him around. I mean, literally, that was probably our following. You're gonna snap. I'm not saying it's right, but he also wasn't talking smack about a dead relative. He was talking shit to Devin about his behavior and saying, how would your father feel? Which was obviously a big topic of conversation. So I think when you're relentlessly hounding someone, what did Devin expect? Was Johnny was going to go, sorry? I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay. Well, we do see Devin get up and start to get into Bananas' face, and this just gets really awkward to watch. I don't think that Devin is obviously going to do anything because the cliffhanger, they would have shown him at least pull an arm back or some sort of push. The cliffhanger literally just cuts to black. Devin's just kind of hanging over him, and then it just gets embarrassing. Where does this end? Does Devin just leave the room?
Right.
Do producers step in to make it look like something tougher happens? I don't know, but
it's a nothing burger. Nothing's going to happen.
But not shocked at all that this is the situation that they leave the cliffhanger on for reunion part 2. So we will get into that next week, but we do have to wrap. I just got the signal from Tony. Thank you all for joining us tonight. That was reunion part 1 for the Challenge Fauna Reckoning at AfterBuzz TV. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can follow me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for joining us. Just want to say how much we appreciate all of you tuning in. My name is Pamela Gross. You can find me at Pamela Gross Joe.
The Dan Lindgren on Instagram. You guys have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.